up, guys? I'm Joseph Bivens. Welcome to Supercars Indianapolis, and today I have generously been loaned this Ford Flex. So I'm going to do a full and comprehensive review of it. Now let's roll. As you can see, this particular example of the Ford Flex is finished in this white color, and I'm going to state right now that I hate the way this car looks. I think it is absolutely hideous. I can see that it's trying to harken back to old station wagons, but the styling just does not work. And I just do not like the way this car looks at all. Alright, so now that I'm inside the Flex, let's go and take it for a drive. She gets moving pretty quickly. Alright, so now that we're at a good road, I'm going to put the Flex into sport mode. Now the Flex to shift has these buttons on the side of the gear stick, which can be used for shifting. They're actually quite fun to play with. Going around the corner. Back on the gas. Third. Fourth. And we're gonna back off. I actually quite like this car, guys. I really don't understand why there's not some kind of a tuning company that works with this car to create like the ultimate family cruiser. It actually handles really well. You wouldn't expect it to. I mean, the thing is extremely heavy, and it's got a box-like shape which you would expect to be top-heavy, but it's actually really planted through the corners. And I think everybody has really pretty much brushed this car off as being nothing and not even worth a look. But I honestly think this could be the ultimate family cruiser. I'm actually quite enjoying my drive in this car. It's so much fun for a family car. And one of the things that's actually fun about it is you're not expecting it to be fun at all. And then it just turns out to be this super ultra fun car that you just cannot wait for your next drive in. Of course, if you don't care about performance, you can drive it in a normal fashion as well, in which case you'll find it's perfectly normal, but it's really no different than a mid-size car that you normally drive, except for you've got a much larger vehicle with more practicality, storage space, and more seats. Here we go. Ooh, this thing is fun. And the weird thing about this car is, I like it. I really, really like it. Here we go. Another nice, tight set of S's right here. It is really planted through the corners. Let me tell you guys, it is planted. On the brakes work quite well. Of course, they're not as good as the brakes in a performance car. It's quite a good car, this, and I really, really like it. I will say something about this car, and that's that it tends to shift when it's at red line. There, red line, shift, which, as long as it's not hurting the car, isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just sometimes it might scare some people, such as my mother, who was driving the car earlier, who completely freaked out when I told her to put her foot down, and when she did, it jumped straight to the 7,000 RPM red line, and she completely freaked, got off the gas, and said, "I do not want to blow up the engine." And so that could be seen as a negative of this car, I think. I will say one thing about it. In town, wind noise. Whenever you're cruising on the highway, in town, whenever you're not driving in a performance manner, which is going to be most of the time in this car, you get wind noise, tire noise, road noise. It is not necessarily a quiet car. And you do really notice it. Another thing I absolutely hate about this car is its infotainment system, which is so infuriating. It makes you, when you go to put in an address, okay, you'd think that the way it's laid out, you'd put in the first thing on the list. No, you don't, because if you do, it will delete everything else after that point. If you put in something after that point, it will delete it. You actually have to do it backwards up the list, which is about the most convoluted way to do this infotainment system that they could have possibly thought of. Why in the world did they do that? Why can't they do it like Porsche? Now, I'm not talking about the responsiveness of the touchscreen. I get that. It's a Ford. But why not just make it simple like Porsche does? It's just simple. You put in city, street, address, go. It's that simple. There's no delays. I've been in multiple 911s and played with the infotainment screen in them, and it's just so simple. Why can Ford not do it that way? It's ridiculous. Like, I was trying, and also, when you're trying to get your phone to pair with the system, it just won't pair. And when you finally do get it paired, it's only paired for a short time, and then it comes unpaired. And then when you take it to the dealer to troubleshoot the problem, of course, that's the time it decides to actually work. It's absolutely ridiculous, this infotainment system, and I don't understand why Ford couldn't have done a better job of it. Back on the positive side of things, the seats are really comfortable, and they are actually heated leather seats. Now, if you're wondering what that thing is behind my neck right now, that's the owner's neck pillow, and I'm keeping it back there because it's actually quite nice. It makes the seat even more comfortable. Now, they're quite comfortable from stock, keep that in mind. But that pillow just adds, it's quite nice. Here we go, guys, never pull. Got to 40, like that. Which that's really about as fast as you're going to need in a daily driver. Now, your performance car, of course, you need to go fast, I mean, of course, but for a daily, does it really need to be, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds? I don't really think so. The Flex is really quick enough for your daily driver car. I really do like this car, guys. I think it's a really good buy. Especially now you can pick some of these up on the used market. I mean, there are a lot of them out there for less than $5 grand, which I really think a family car for less than $5 grand, you're not going to do a heck of a lot better than this. And on that note, I'd like to conclude this review. And so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please be sure to browse the channel and subscribe, and I'll see you next video. Go hard, accelerate, no,